Hi, Healthy Wisdomers. I'd like to invite you to join me at Patreon/DRJENCHEN. There are three levels of support that you can choose from. Now, why Patreon, you might ask? Well, one of the questions that I kept asking myself over and over was, how can I continue to honor my craft with quality content and better support you, our listeners, to take action and make changes with tangible results? Because ultimately, we got to take action, right? So the answer came as a 3-tier membership with the initial level to access episodes early so that you can continue to build on that momentum and you don't have to wait for the next episode to be released a week later. The mid-tier gives you access to bonus episodes and PDF materials to encourage you to actually apply what you've learned. And at the VIP level, we get to do a deep dive on all the materials presented via a monthly group call where you have access to me and our VIP community for accountability and support. Now, I got to tell you guys, I'm so excited for this opportunity to meet you and work with each and every one of you. And I'm so looking forward to our helping each other live the most remarkable life that we are all meant to have. So hop on over to the Patreon page and we'll see you guys very soon. Hi. Welcome back to another episode on the Healthy Wisdom series with Dr. Jen Jen. Oh my God, you guys, have I missed you over the past few weeks? It's been a really exciting time over at my clinic. We are getting ready to start renovations. We are going to be upgrading our space. We're going to be carving out new rooms and also just making some overall like 2.0 updating 2.0 changes and in order for us to make the environment even better for our patients and all those that are part of our family at the clinic. That's what we've been working on. So I wanted to take a few minutes today to address something that I was actually inspired by very recently. There was a quote actually that I came upon that reads, "Today is the victory over yourself of yesterday. Tomorrow is your victory over lesser men." Now, this quote came about by a swordsman back in the 1600s named Miyamoto Musashi. And he is actually, I think, one of those very interesting figures. He was a philosopher. He was an architectural artist. He was a swordsman who crafted his own weapons, I guess. And he was in combat like many, many, many times. And so I just came upon this quote that somebody had put on, and I thought to myself, wow, this is a really interesting quote because in there, you can see the spirit of the topic that we're going to be focusing on today. And that is, in a nutshell, are you a student? Sounds really simple, but there's a student mentality in all of us that must be tapped into. I believe that once we do tap into that mentality, we can become perhaps the inner warrior that we never thought we had in us, but it was there all along. And so, being inspired by that quote and, thinking about how I have, I guess, gotten to the way I am today, I just felt really inspired and motivated to, record this episode today. So I kind of want to take it from a very student sort of perspective because we have all been there, right? For those of us who are those are long days gone, but continue to, because as mothers, fathers, healthcare providers, grandfathers, grandmothers, people in business, practically every single aspect of our lives, if we use the perspective of that student mentality, I feel that any obstacles that come our way can be overcome because we will become a warrior in times of challenge. Now, here's the thing. What is a student, right? And I thought about it. There are certain characteristics that are very, I think, central to being a student. And of course, I'm talking about being not just a good student, but a great student. And, I guess in certain senses, we could say even a phenomenal student, an extraordinary student, right? So we're looking at, it from a perspective of being an above average, like going beyond, being an excellent student. Okay. So these are the qualities that, we're going to be sort of exploring today. So a student is resilient. A student is disciplined. It is only through discipline that will experience this freedom of becoming the warrior, because the student never surrenders. We have a strategy. The strategy is a plan of action. It's the recipe, the how, and we must study the strategy before the next step is taken. And before you take that first step, if you take the time to plan and study the how, most of us may not be willing to fully study and put in the time. And so when we end up failing, we give up. If we use that student mentality, use our resilience, use our discipline, and study the strategy, make use of that and take action, we can bring about deliberate, intentional, investigative qualities to whatever it is that we're getting ready to do. And this requires some form of calculation. And the way I see it is, anytime that we're entering a new season in our lives, anytime that we're entering into a new relationship, anytime that we are about to take on a new project, a new stage in life, that's when we need to be calculated. We have to use our skills that we have acquired. Maybe we have to even acquire new skills and combine all of that with the experience that we've accumulated over the years. These qualities together makes us resilient. And if we can become a fighter, a game changer, someone who refuses to stay down, because sometimes, life will throw us some big challenges and they'll come by the truckload sometimes, Murphy's Law is real. Everybody knows Murphy's Law is coming and knocking on our door all the time. Show of hands. How many people have experienced this where you have one little thing go wrong in the morning and pretty much the whole day is shot? Like you just have a whole stream of things just go wrong. Well, let me tell you, that's Murphy's Law. And so where are we going to get that resilience and that, that fight in us? That will come from our experiences, our skill sets, and being disciplined. Can I encourage you to become someone who's set apart from those who operate on average? Can I encourage you guys to become someone who's above and beyond, who goes 120%, so that we've got to use a little bit more work ethic, right? To go after the things that we want to go after. A student is a disciple, right? And a disciple is disciplined. And in order for you to achieve that spirit of the warrior, we do need to have that discipline, because we as warriors, we're positioned for victory. I always say that, I share this all the time with people. Let's just stop becoming victims and let's become victors. No matter what life throws in our way, there's always a way out. All right. It may be painful right now. It may be difficult right now. There may be a lot of big and small challenges that are basically making you detour and maybe take a roundabout way to get to that final destination. But let's become victors of that. Daily, we require discipline. But here's the thing, discipline gives us an invite. It gives us the invite to not accept normal and average as our norm. Discipline is that invite out of that normalcy. So the one who studies is one who's going to be allergic to this averageness. Because you look around you and there's plenty of people who are living in average. Let's take on this challenge. I want to challenge you today to take on this philosophy, to become a great student of excellence and embrace that inner warrior within. Because to understand this is to know the difference between good, great, and absolutely phenomenal. All right, Healthy Wisdomers. I hope you've enjoyed this episode today, and it has been a pleasure to share this with you. And I want to encourage you to, just take a minute to subscribe, follow, and rate this episode for me if you wouldn't mind. And let's just continue to bathe in this wisdom and share it with as many people as we can, because together we can really come stronger and resilient. This is the Healthy Wisdom series with Dr. Jen Chen. I'll catch you guys soon.